And we're live. Good evening, everybody. I know you were all expecting to see Scott Lee Bauer, as was I. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a connection issue that we tried to sort it out, and it just wasn't getting anywhere. I plunged into my endless bag of resources. I asked one, he was drunk. Thank you for being honest. He couldn't do it. I asked somebody else, and they panicked, and I think they're currently hiding under their kitchen sink. But we have, and I'm delighted to say, the lovely Chris Shearer with us. So we're just going to chat. All right, Chris. I have already said to Chris, are you allowed out? But he's all right. He's in his back garden, everybody. Don't start shopping him. So, welcome. It's just going to be a little evening of chat, questions, a bit of light-hearted fun. If you've got any questions, please type them in. You know, I always say no questions daft if you don't know the answer. It's as simple as that, you know. It's the only way we learn is by asking. So, we've got Dolly Little on, up in a lookout tower on Portland Bill or wherever she is. Hello, Dolly. How are you, darling? You got the wine out yet, love? Dolly's a lovely lady, Chris. She's a very strong healer. Been in healing energies for years and years and years. She's an authoress as well. She's published. She sat there going, "Oh no, shut up, leave me alone." But yeah, she's absolutely lovely. Pauline, hello. Susan, hello, sweetie. Dawn, good evening. How are you? Lovely. Get your questions in, everybody. Come on. So, as all you joining in now, hello, Jamie. How are you? I did going to try you, Jamie, for tonight, but you were pipped at the post, so don't. Oh, Dolly's not on the wine. She's on the pink gin and tonic. Good girl. Hello. Hey. So, Chris, lovely Chris. We were to have Chris and Katie down. They're the what we call the Manchester Mediums or the Northern Lights. Those of you who've seen them work within the church, you know how exceptionally good they do work, the pair of them. Absolutely lovely. And Angel Caroline, and Bob. Sorry, but I've got to say all these names, otherwise come the finish, I'll be hunted. But yeah, Chris is a lovely fella. Chris, you're very happy to start off your shop, weren't you? But with looking out, over to you. You know, tell us about your shop and where it came from.
I partnered up with a lady called Anne-Marie. She was into healing and the spiritual stuff herself, as am I. So we sort of joined forces. She had an idea of her idea was to bring people together who have different services to offer. So in terms of the holistic and obviously the mediumship and the spiritual aspect, to bring a base, if you like, where people could come in, offer their services to well-being for others. We also set the shop as a sort of retail, so we had sort of your angel figurines, your books, your cards, your jewelry sense of it, your crystals, all them different aspects, and your incense, and that was pretty much it, really. So we started off. It was in Warrington. It was going really well. 7 weeks. I think we managed before this happened. But yeah, it was really good. It gave me up to. It certainly progressed me a lot. I mean, I did a lot of more readings, a lot more the healing aspect, and it was really interesting to meet different people. Do you know what I mean? And different people who do different sort of aspects and services themselves as well. That are willing to sort of offer that. And different walks of life. I mean, I meet different walks of life anyway, because obviously I've been doing the one-to-ones for some time, but it was more in a formal basis as opposed to as and when, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Because I remember you posting the pictures online as you were getting the shop together, and it looked lovely, you know, but not to worry. You know, this will end. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
will
yeah,
end. And afterwards, all religions, all spiritualities will all have an upsurge.
yeah,
Yeah, trust it.
definitely. Yeah. I mean, we're doing an MBS event that we organised, a Mind Body Spirit event that we organised,
Yeah.
and we had some Buddhists that were going to come along and do a
All
bit of
right.
a workshop there as well. So it was sort of, unfortunately, obviously it didn't happen, but it was a exciting prospect in sort of bringing the different viewpoints in on the day, as well as healers and mediums and different retail. Do you know what I mean? And different ways of working in a
Yeah.
spiritual umbrella. Um,
Yeah. Seeing a lot of that. I do believe the way spirit work. I mean, it's intangible to us, but there was quite commented on quite a lot about new energies suddenly coming in at the beginning of
yeah,
this, and there were new ideas, there were new things coming in, and people just their consciousness sort of like expanded and started to include stuff where they may have been not dismissive, but not actually looked into stuff, but that
yeah, yeah.
curiosity sort of thing. So yeah, I do believe that spirit were already preparing, because the virtual presence now. As I said earlier, those of you who missed it, where were you all? Uh, I asked somebody if they could cover tonight, and they sort of like had a fit. But it was sheer terror of the thought of going online, But this is it at the moment, and it is. I must say, it's working very well in its own right.
I think what's great, Lawrence, is it's bringing so many people together. I did a reading for someone in America the other day, in Tennessee. Really nice lady. Got a friendship with her in a sense, and I did one in Guernsey as well. So it's bizarre how before this aspect was there, this way of doing things was already there, but never really pushed, if that makes sense for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was just mad how that came about, and obviously I've started running the development group, as you know, online, different way of doing it. Few teething issues, but we got there on
we'll
Monday
learn.
night. But the lady from America's obviously joined, so it's great that in a sense international, it's bringing like-minded people that you would never really speak to or come into contact with together.
Very true. Yeah, very, very true. I think our last broadcast, there was somebody signed in and said, "Hi, I'm watching from India."
Yeah.
What? Why? Is there nothing on their television? But yeah, very.
There's been a big shift, though, hasn't there? I mean, there was a big shift in the energy beginning of the year, and then
Yeah,
I feel in the last couple of days there's been another shift again. So um, it's obviously that awareness and that consciousness is going to a higher level. As before,
yeah,
it was at a high level. Don't get me wrong, but it's like revolution, isn't it? Evolution, the way that everything changes. But there has been a conscious shift quite recently. I noticed it more in the last couple of days. To be honest with you, today it's been a little bit of a strange day, to be honest, because people say, "Oh, you're a medium. Yeah, it's a great gift, this, that, and the other," and it is, and it's fantastic as a healer and an empath. But today has been a very up and down emotional day, and I'm not afraid to admit it. The last 3 days, obviously, I've been speaking to people, and obviously, as you know, I've got family members as well that are in the best way at the moment. But I felt it more today, and it was a little bit weird. Just that shift of energy and that consciousness and that being more aware of others in a more empathic way, as opposed. I'm not saying I wasn't empathic before, because I was, but probably not to that level, if that makes sense. Not to the way it's
yeah,
just suddenly hit me. To feel everyone's thoughts, everyone's feelings, and how you're working how to ground that again, to bring me back. To get what I mean, and that's something that I think a lot of people who are in the spiritual field, doesn't matter what religion at the end of the day, whether it's still the spiritual aspect, the faith. has felt that shift considerably. And I feel, in a sense, it's a blessing, because although it's been emotional roller coaster this afternoon for myself, it's made me look at things in a different aspect that I probably didn't do before. So that's where the blessing comes in, I suppose.
Yeah, very true. Ultimately, it will be for everybody. Funny you should say that, because I did notice tonight on the when they do the update on the BBC, I was just up with when they do the questions coming in from the reporters, there
Yeah,
was a different energy. They were getting really succinct about stuff and not letting anything go. And I thought, oh, this is new. This is a new way of doing stuff. So it's not only the people who are aware. I mean, we've got that blessing in a way, that because of
yeah,
our awareness, we're aware of this going on, but it's affecting everybody. And they may not be consciously aware of it, but I did notice certainly people were much more confident and in there with questions. And I was like, wow, actually, yeah, that's a good question. That needs asking. And they weren't telling any lines. They were going straight for it. I thought, well, that's new. That was a new thing.
yeah.
But most definitely, the next word you use there, evolution. And it is an evolution. It's not going to be easy, because we don't like change.
No.
We can't go back. We can't push the reset button. So go with it. Right, got some questions coming in. Lovely Jamie Williamson. Chris, what has been your single most important influence outside
That's
this?
an interesting question.
Yeah.
Important influence. Don't know how to answer that. I mean, I've had many, obviously, on my journey in the spiritual aspect. Being a better person, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. It's not.
I think when you see, I started my journey in this sense late on. So I was 30 years old, and I got diagnosed with kidney disease, and then a lot of things changed. Even though I had experiences, do you know what I mean, in the spirit aspects, I suppose. A lot came in for me, and it was a little bit strange and a little bit weird. So at that time, I had sort of a mentor that I went to. She helped me a great deal. Still does. I still message her every now and again and say I'm stuck with this. But I have to say, which is really nice, and a lot of new people that I've met that have taught me different things as well, different ways.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, the most important one is being a better person.
Yeah, it is. It's when we start on this path, no matter if it's going to be platform mediumship or coming in, opening up the churches, or just a counsellor, it doesn't matter. But when we start getting that awareness, not only do we become aware of others, we become more aware of how we are with others as well. I found that quite a big leveler for me. I believe this or not, I used to have a bit of a reputation at work. I know, it's shocking, but anyway, that was a joke. But yeah, and people said, "What's the matter with you? You're getting soft." And I thought, no, because my awareness is growing. And it's treating others as you want to treat yourself, and things like that. So yeah, I think working with spirit, working in that spiritual atmosphere, is probably the biggest influence any of us are going to get.
And I've got to sort of, with this lockdown, I've got to sort of commend my lad, to be honest with you. As much as he plays rugby. He's really good at it. He's quite a big lad as well. But he has sort of got me into doing more training, starting to exercise, and he's starting to push me. So in terms of an important influence, I have to involve him in that as well, because children change a lot of us. Children are innocent, and children are probably an important. Even if you don't have kids, I don't mean that, but children around you teach you a lot of things that we forget, maybe, or need to know at that time. And whether it's in a bad influence or a good influence, it still brings that aspect in there to see things the way that we should. But he has been a good influence on me, I have to say. He's getting me out there. He's getting me doing a lot more activity. So there's an important influence at the moment in this present time for me that's very much there. So
excellent. Yeah. Can you get him online about 7 o'clock every morning? Because my choice of destination at the moment seems to be the fridge every 5 minutes.
Well, that was mine big time. But
it's got to stop.
Yeah,
I don't know. When they're accusing people of hoarding food, I don't know how anybody managed to hoard food, and the food's not even hit the fridge. It's sort of like, there's the fridge.
yeah.
Right, we have another question from the lovely Pauline Martin. Martin, what's your view of ghosts?
Oh, it's a good one, that, because when I first started my properly coming into this, my wife was always into the paranormal, believe it or not, and she's a very good psychic. I have to say, she's very good at cards. She's just a bit shy at doing it.
Was that the lady online? Sorry, was that the lady online with you last night?
It was, yeah. That was on the other day with me on the page.
Yeah, but yeah, good.
So it's pushing her at the minute as well. But on the ghost aspect, I was she was into paranormal. I was a scaredy cat. I went with her on one. I went to Morecambe Winter Gardens, and I had an amazing experience, I have to say to you. I experienced so many things and saw spirit properly, external, for the first time, really. I took pictures and it came out on the picture. It was mad, and it was a mad evening, and all sorts happened. But the answer to that question, a ghost is like a replaying record. So it's an energy that's stuck in the time zone, in a sense. Whereas a spirit is someone who has a spirit is a person or an animal, if you like, that's passed, that has an intelligence, so it has a way of communicating with to you, either in the physical sense. What I mean by that is either knocks, moving things, doing things in front of your eyes, or in terms of the spiritual aspect, like us mediums, that where we connect and we get it through our own senses. So we're feeling it and we're experiencing it, not the person that we're giving the information to, but we're getting that information coming in different aspects. So a ghost is, in my opinion and my view, it is either something that's there, an apparition, or something that appears, or something that's always been there, stuck in time, that's playing like a record over and over again. So it doesn't have any intelligence to it. You will feel it if you come into contact with that energy, but there's nothing actually in the, how do I put it, physical sense maybe, or the sense that comes forward that's there.
I go along 100% with that. I've been asked a few times to go out to houses because they're haunted. And there was only one time there was something in the house, a physical thing that had an attachment. And that's what people kept picking up on. And once that was removed from the house, it had gone. All the other times, it wasn't the house or wherever they were. It was the people's own latent ability to be able to pick up on spirit, and they were mediumistic, but untrained, unknowing, and they were seeing it, So, yeah, I agree with you 100%. When you get a ghost, it's a repetitive event. We've got near here a place called Corth Castle, and they reckon they see, I think the centurions or legionnaires, something like that, on horseback, are quite often seen on this stretch of road. But that's all people see. They keep seeing one scene replayed. I always think, well, I often think as well, these things may be linked to where you get accident black spots, because you see some of these accident black spots and there's nothing there. It's a stretch of road, and you think, why do people have an accident there? I was coming back from Ringwood with a friend who's a medium, and she slammed the brakes on, and I was like, what? There was somebody stood in the road, and that was a black spot corner, and she slammed the brakes on, nobody there, and I thought, I wonder.
It's mad, isn't it? Mad.
But yeah, I go along totally with your feelings on that. I hope that answers your question, Pauline. So, yeah. No, Jan, that is not the red leather chair I'm sat on. I think it's quite good. So, Mr. Bond. No. Yeah, I go along with the 100% on that, Chris. Lynn Clark has got a question.
Do you want to read it out? Or, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about when we get to the spirit world? Which previous incarnation do we attach to? Hope that makes sense. I'm worried about who I'll be with when it's my time. Oh, that's a very interesting one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask at the moment, but I'll answer. I believe my understanding is the spirit world is sort of supposed to be a sort of a happy place that you go to. So in order for it to be a happy place, it would be the ones that you had the special moments with, had that closeness to, and where that love is, that you would come in contact with. That's my belief. And obviously, I have had a glimpse at times and been shown the spirit world. The way I see it is sort of like I'll be honest with you, like a countryside place is the way that I saw it. Nice clouds, nice blue skies, and a nice place where people were there and happy together. So I'm just looking at your question again. That's what I feel you would attach to. I do, however, also understand the aspect of you will come in contact of your loved ones, your friendships. They will come to greet you, and you will sort of rekindle that again. That they will be there for you, because I have experienced when I've been given messages that of loved ones that have said they're around, and the person who's not quite passed yet has been acknowledging them. So I have to say that in that sense, from that sort of evidence that's been given there, you get your loved ones that you come back into contact with. The thing is, I feel, is on the earth plane, we have so many lessons, so many different things to learn, that when we cross over, it takes us to a higher level of that consciousness. So these mundane things and the different aspects of the control and different things that we go through in emotions, that they get taken away in some aspects. So because of that reason, you go into a happier and more aware state of being, as opposed to when you're here, you've got to go through different cycles, different motions, in order to get to that understanding.
Yeah.
Because some talk about reincarnation, don't they? Just in relation to that question, some talk about reincarnation. And I believe, I do feel reincarnation does happen. So you could come back as a different person, or a dog, a cat, an animal, doesn't matter. Reincarnation, in my understanding, is when you connect to your higher self. Because we're a soul, because we're an energy, we're a spirit. Part of that spirit's still in the spirit world, and part of it's down here, still to go through them cycles of learning new things. So when you connect to your higher self and you get an information, I always, when I connect to myself, I get it in a poetic form. And I write it down, so it comes in a different way, as opposed to my loved ones that might come forward and say hello, or one of your loved ones that might come forward and say hello in a different aspect. I get it in more writing, understanding, and it's more in a poetry sense or a philosophical sense that it comes through. And I feel that's when you connect to your higher self. So I do feel that part of you is still there, and part of you is still here, in order for reincarnation. Because I had a gentleman, I'll be honest, ask me, so my dad's passed. So if my dad's passed and I've got this person talking to me about reincarnation, how does that work? Because I don't like the thought of that, because obviously I'm being told my dad's around me, giving this guidance and this reassurance. And I explained it in that way, because I asked the question that came forward was, part of him, because he's a spirit, because he's an energy, he can be in different places at any given time.
I go along. The reincarnation thing is, I think it's going to be there forever on this side of life, being asked. I agree with you that, yes, I've said that to me, we're a bit like an app on the phone. You know, the mainframe is somewhere else. We're just the app down here. So we're the app of our main spirit. But also reincarnation. Interesting. One of my guides once, he came. I knew it was him, but he had changed totally. And I was like, what's going on? Why? I know it's you, but it's not you. What's happening? He said, I've had to go back into a different incarnation to help you at this time. And I thought, whoa, that is interesting.
Yeah, bizarre.
Yeah. So, yeah, but yeah, like you say as well, when we do link it to the higher side, you know, if we look at our life here, if you go back 3 months, the life we were then to the life we're living today, we're still us, but it's totally different.
Yeah.
That's probably an allegory between us here and us upstairs.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different rule set.
Yeah, so I feel her loved ones that she'll rekindle with. That's how I need to answer it, and I do feel. Well, I'm not supposed to be doing readings, am I? But
no, you can do
I get the aspect of a mum or a mother figure that you're very much missing. That I need to say it's very much around, but I do feel that's where you will. It's that presence will be there again. Do you know what I mean? That meeting will come. It's a hard one as well, Lawrence, because that question's an interesting one. Because obviously, I know this is a wrong subject to knowledge, but do you when they talk about people that have taken their own lives and given up in that aspect? When people say the spirit world is such a happy place, such a wonderful place, it is, but so's Earth, so's here in the now, and if you acknowledge and look around at the good things you have instead of looking too far in front, that's how you appreciate the beauty and everything else that's around you. So just as much as going over there is a great thing, and it's a wonderful place I feel that you go to, so's here.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we should always remember that. You know what I'm like about me positive energy? You know, even at this time, you can find positive things. And when you work in that positive energy, yeah, I'm looking out the window now, you know, and I'm seeing about 80 shades of green, the blue sky, the sun up there. Wow, how beautiful, you know. I could look out and think I'm trapped in, you know, it's that viewpoint. And we need to live in the now more. I always think, you know, people are always thinking, you know, what we're going to do next week or what did we do last week? And it's sort of like, well, what are you doing now? Yeah. Anyway, lovely Charlotte. Thank you for that, Chris. That was lovely. Charlotte Cunningham, how are you, sweetie? Do you believe in soulmates?
Yeah, very much so. I do. Yeah. I believe you. You can meet different people every day that teach you different things, but I also believe you can meet someone on a different level that gives you sort of, how to put it, a soulmate to me is someone who knows the bad points, sees the good points, and brings them out of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very much so, yes, I do believe in the soulmate aspect, yeah. And I feel at times as well, you can retract from each other, but you'll always come back because there's something there that they bring the best out in you.
Yeah. There's a lovely reading out there, Charlotte, if you want to Google it. I think it's called The Cave of the Souls. Really good reading. If you can find it, great. If you can't find it, give me a shout and I'll see if I can dig one out for you. But
and you'll have a soul family as well. Everyone has a soul family. So even if I'm talking in the aspect of someone who gives you that reassurance and brings the best out in you, we all have a soul family. And in some strange way, we all connect as one as well. So you sometimes get that feeling when you meet someone and I think, I know them. Sure, I've seen them before. But you've never met ever in your lifetime. So that sort of brings it about as well. It's that coincidence or that deja vu moment that acknowledges that. So yeah, I'd have to say yes, I do believe in soulmate.
Yeah. So I hope that's answered your question, lovely Charlotte. You know, you say soul mates, soul groups, soul families, it's all the same banner. You know, you're all of a similar vibration. Doesn't always mean that you're going to hit it off. You know, it might be, when is the time we grow the most? Is when we're pushed the hardest. Yeah. And what better for somebody that knows us, that understands us, to give us that push?
Yeah.
Nikki Gaultier. Hi, Chris. Do you think there are more than one aspect of our higher selves experiencing life simultaneously?
Ooh.
Have fun with that. You can tell everyone's bored, locked indoors, can't you? Oh, goodness.
I know, yeah. Giving some good questions here, though. Well, I'll answer it in this way. Going back to what we were talking about before, where we had the aspect of guides and that conversation we had. I spoke to people that have had guides that have been themselves, but in a previous life. So when you talk about the aspect of higher selves experiencing life simultaneously, I'd have to say yes, because if you can have a guide that comes forward and it's you, but in a different way of looking at it, then I can't deny the fact that they must be living their aspect. It's still going on because it's an energy, it's still going, and you're living yours at the same time. So in a parallel universe, if you look at it that way, so yeah, very much so.
Yeah, because we start touching on that, the famous thing of there's no time in spirit. We manage that, you know, and actually it brings back nicely what I was just saying about my guide presenting himself in a different aspect. So he had gone back to that incarnation to help me at this time.
Yeah.
He is the same person. I knew it was him, but my perception of him was totally different. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. So yeah, I'd have to say yeah. Very much so. Because if you think about it, you tap into the awareness. You don't necessarily tap into just when you tap into yourself. It's not always yourself in the higher plane. You're tapping into other aspects as well, because you've got to get an understanding that comes back to you. So yeah, that would make sense to that question.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Jamie is coming straight back. You love Jamie. He's a lovely fella. Mediumship is coming on a treat. He's getting the confidence. He's volunteered to do a service. I didn't have to berate him to make him to do it. But, as a teacher and practicing medium, how do you manage your continued professional development?
Great question. I have downloaded some different books today on audio that I can listen to, different exercises on them, on enhancing my own abilities. So in terms of, I probably know some of them, but some will give me that practice sense as well, bringing the connection in, sitting there, sitting with spirit, working that aspect. So it is difficult, I'll be honest with you, because you've got to live as well. So you try and put it. It's a difficult one because you put it to one side. Sometimes you're with the spirit world, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're wanting that urge to be with them. Other times you're not feeling great in yourself, so that comes into play. So it's that drive. I'm just trying to reiterate the question from the answer because I've gone blank.
How do you continue to develop, or do you find it's more like a natural unfoldment? The more you work with it, the more you pick up. And the more you pick up, the more you develop.
It's repetition.
Yeah.
And it's also, I learn a lot in terms of the teacher aspect. I mean, I don't like the word teacher because at the end of the day, the spirit world teacher. But if you want to look at it in a mentor way or teacher way, I learn off the people that are learning themselves as well. Yes. So you learn off everyone. So if they give me something, so say symbolic, or they come out with something, and I think, oh, I never thought of it, looking at it that way. I will then put that on and put it in your toolbox, if you like, and it'll come into play again for myself, maybe further down the line. So you learn off them. The spirit world are very clever as well, I will say to you. They teach you, and if your ego gets too big, they knock you down a peg or two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they will stop you in any way they can. So they'll either bring a bit of illness in there to stop you because you're doing too much,
Yeah.
or they'll just stop that connection, pure and simple. So in terms of that, so you continue professional development. I try and stay humble, and I try and keep on the grounds of it's to heal, to help other people. If you get above that station, then you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah. No, well
And
said.
I always got told off a mentor that helped me. Ellen, her name was Ellen Ashcroft, so I'll mention her here. Because obviously the spirit world taught me at first, and then she came in to give me that understanding here and push me forward. She always said, never expect, always accept.
Mm. Yeah. Susan Brown, who's online tonight, saying she from her old circle was coming expecting nothing, but expect nothing, but accept everything.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, good question, Jamie. Thank you.
And I always push it to the people that I'm teaching. I push it to myself as well. I'm lucky I have my wife as well that knocks me down a peg or two when it's needed. But I always push it to them to say, it's not about you. It's about the communication, and it's about the person you're giving the message to. If you always have that thought process in mind and that intention, then you won't go too far wrong.
Yeah, no, very true. You know, we are. You can see where some people allow the ego to take over.
Yeah.
You know, because you do get it, don't you? People come out, and it's lovely, everybody. You know, I'm not knocking you when you come out after you've done a dem or worked in whatever way, and they go, "Oh yeah, that was great, that was great." You know, yeah, it's a bit like smoking. All right, it's a bit like any addiction. If you keep getting that, and then some people get on that roll, and I think this is where some of the names in the past have fallen over because they've got that role and forgotten. Actually, you're there to serve spirit and there to serve the spirit in front of you.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's when it starts to go a little bit awry. But yeah, you know, if anybody on here tonight, if you got a phone call saying you'd won £1 million, you wouldn't sit there and thank the phone. You'd thank the process it was that got you the £1 million. And that's the same with mediums. You know, we pass it over. Yeah, we get our high out of it. I'm sure you'll agree, Chris. You better.
Yeah. No, you do. Of course you do, yeah.
Yeah, when you've done it, you know, I always say, jokingly, I think every medium is slightly sadistic because when you get tears, you go, yes, not because you them cry, but because you know you've done your job. You know,
well, same with the service, isn't it? Same with the service. If you go to a service and obviously it's an hour-long service or whatever, you could give 5 messages and think, yeah, they took a bit from it, but you know, it was up and down, and then you get the one message that hits someone in the heart, and it means the world to them. And I always feel, well, that's why I went there.
Yes, yeah, very true. And as things go on and progress as well, I mean, the act of the philosophy coming in. I mean, a lot of people often say, you know, do you know what? I came here with a question, and in the address, I got my answer.
Yeah.
It's so clever. They are. They're just so clever the way they get the stuff over. Ooh. Miles Scott Martin, good evening. Don't you find that when we meditate, time seems to change? Time man-made?
Well, it is man-made.
Yes. Yeah, don't we?
Someone invented the clock. I think it started with the moon and the sun cycles, didn't it? And they used the shadows to establish what time, and then someone else came in and give it 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. We all how to put it? We live in a society sometimes that's controlled. And the reason time is so important because time is a control mechanism. Sometimes in a good aspect and sometimes in a negative aspect. So very much so when you meditate, you take your consciousness to your subconsciousness and to your outer awareness, and time has no play there. If you're meditating in the correct manner, you should go into a relaxed state, and you sort of drift, don't you? You drift into either another world, or you just sit still in the moment and your body stills, and you tap into that outer awareness. When people talk about meditation, I think it's 20% of the brain that we don't use as human beings. And what you're doing is tapping into that in a meditative state. Same aspect as when you have dreams. When you go sleep and your body completely relaxes and you have a dream. You have weird dreams, strange dreams. Sometimes it can be the spirit world coming forward, guiding you. Other times it's your subconscious.
Oh, hello. Chris has just frozen here, everybody. He's back.
So yes, time's man-made, very much so. And yes, meditation, because you go into an outer awareness, your subconscious mindset, time doesn't matter.
That was lovely, Chris, because unbeknownst to you, you froze for about 4 seconds. So when you were talking about time, sort of like standing still, you did. Everybody got a practical demonstration. Lovely. Any more lovely questions coming in? Oh, Eddie phone. Hello, Eddie. Eddie, is it possible that our spirit guides are previous and future incarnations of ourselves? Well, I think we just, we had that just a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I don't know on the future one, but possibly they are, because I can't remember. I was just in a topic with someone the other day, and they said they went to a park once, and they were trying to. Someone asked them about a missing person case, so they went to this park. We visited it, and while they were there, they got a recording of the person who was missing voice. Yeah, but bear in mind, when they went to this park, they didn't know at the time that they were sort of just, you hunt around for ghosts or you hunt around for spirit or that the interest. They got a voice recording. So anyway, future sense, this voice recording that they remembered back to when someone gave them a missing persons case, and it was the same person that was on that voice recording. So in a sense, I've got to say that's past time, but coming to future time, or was it future time relating to past time? It's such a strange one, because energy can work in amazing ways. So
I believe very strongly that I've experienced it twice now, that we slip forward in time, and sadly it wasn't a conscious effort to do it. There was no formal it just happened, and it was silly stuff, but I'd seen it, and it wasn't deja vu. It was, I actually saw something, and then a month later it happened, and I'm like, what? And we're seeing now, aren't we, in a couple of these books, a guy that forecast in 2020 a pneumonia-like illness. I mean, you suffer that same thing where you just somehow you go forward in time.
Ahead. And he's got to have got that information from somewhere. I know obviously we have an imagination, but to put the time down and the time scale down, he's got to have received
pneumonia from a virus, which is, you think a virus can attack anything. It could attack our brains, attack our heart, anything. But no, he said a pneumonia from it. It was sort of like, wow. But it was
1981, I think. That was written. It's mad.
Yeah, and I think deja vu is us slipping back a little bit in time and picking up a past memory. As I said, when you see something in front of you and you're like, I've seen that happen. Anyway, yes. So very interesting.
Yeah.
Day when we're all upstairs, we go, oh, is that what it was about? Oh, hold on. Here we go. Just a little comment here for you, Chris. Chris, for a young man, you have an awful lot of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you for sharing.
Bet my mum doesn't agree with that. No, I mean.
Don't forget Dolly's on the pink gin at the moment.
Do you know why? I think some I have, and I'm always learning, so I don't know everything. I just know what I know. And I learn new things every day. But I think when my time came for this calling, I wasn't well, strangely enough. I was okay at the time. And then I sort of deteriorated, as you do with kidney disease and that aspect. So I had a lot of time on my hands. And I was sat there for sort of 24/7 near enough, communicating, which isn't healthy, I know, but I was. So that propelled me a great deal. But it's also in the same sense when you get kids that connect with the spirit world and they come out with stuff and you just think, where has that just come from? And it's almost like, well, they're older than their age, definitely. So it's almost like, could you go back to the reincarnation aspect? Could you go back that you came here, chose the family, and it was all meant to happen? I don't really know. But I feel a lot of that plays a part, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny because you came into it at a later time with kidney illness. Mine really shot to the fore when I lost my mum, lost my dad, and I had cancer in a very, very short space of time.
Yeah.
Space of time, it was just like all the floodgates. You know, I was sort of like on the ball. I'd started off on my healing route and learning Reiki, as we all do. Yeah. At that time, in my life, it was complete turmoil. And just suddenly I'm walking down the road and people are walking down with me, talking to me. And I'm going, this is mad, because I know I'm having a conversation with them. I'm not making this up. I'm asking a question and I'm getting an answer. You know, this is happening. You know, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? But yeah, I think we see.
I'll be honest, Lawrence, I'm not really one for reading books. Do you know what I mean? It never really sat with me to sit there and read. I prefer more the practical sense than the sitting academic sense, if that makes sense, for or that way of doing it. So a lot of my development was trial and error, if you like, pushed into the out your comfort zone. Right, go on, Chris, get on with it. But that's how you learn. That's how I learn as a person, and everyone's different. And it's what's unique. That's why everyone makes us all unique and individual, and that's why no one in this type of field or this type of calling, if you like, are all the same. Because if we're all the same, it just wouldn't work. And that's what makes it so interesting and so diverse in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Very
true. Everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something to offer.
Yeah, they do indeed. And I started off reading a lot because the circle leader at the time, she said, you got to read. And she was giving me books every time I saw her. She said, hey, read this one, read this one. But I pulled back from the books. But every now and then a book will come up and I'm meant to read it. So it's just occasionally, very similar to you.
I do get a bit of that.
Yeah.
I still get a bit of that where I read something. Sorry, Lawrence, go on.
No, it's all right. Sorry, the time lag thing is a bit confusing. Similar to you, I prefer to go out and experience it, you know, and live it and go, right, what's this about? You know, and I like what you said about, you know, when you're teaching people earlier on, that you learn from them. That's so true. When I started, I was like, wow.
That's my view, but everyone's a teacher.
Indeed they are.
We're all spirit here. So even when we talk about messages, we're all spirit to spirit. So
yeah, there we go. Lovely comment from a lovely medium there, Tony Goswell. I believe we all learn from each other. The teacher is the student and vice versa.
Yeah, very much so.
Chris, absolutely wonderful evening with you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you not only for a brilliant evening, as always. Thank you for standing in. Well, you didn't stand in. It's obviously meant to have been, because it's been a super evening. Lots of really...
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
really interesting questions there as well. So it's good.
Yeah. Very quickly. So I just spotted another question here from the lovely Tony. Tony Goswell. Hi, Chris. What of your senses are heightened when spirit energies are around you?
My clairsentience, so my feeling.
Yeah.
And me clairvoyance, very much so. I tend to see, not always, and then it's all the others come into play. Then I feel my clairsentience very much the first one because I was a scaredy cat, as I say. So I would feel them as opposed to see them, and be touched and that aspect of it. So yeah, they're my stronger ones. And obviously I've had to push myself out my comfort zone to develop the others. What was weird though, Lawrence, was when I started off my development in that sense, I go to circles, and I got up one time that stays in my mind, and because I was quite clairsentient and clairvoyant, he took it away. So I got up to start the message. I got up to sit there like everyone does. Everyone sits there and they go, right, give me the information, give it to me. Come on, I've got to get up in a minute, give it to me. Panicking. And you get a little bit, don't you, at first, when you're first starting off, and then you get up, you think, right, I've got this great stuff, I'm getting up here. And they took it away. And I thought, oh, what do I do now? So I didn't have much of a choice but to go off and knowing and my other senses to try and give this message to someone. So it threw me completely, but it was a blessing as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it helped me work with the other senses as opposed to the ones I was in my comfort zone with.
Yeah. We as mediums, we should never be comfortable. You know, you hear it so often on the platform. Oh, they're working differently with me today. You know, and it's endemic. Every medium, I think, goes through these changes because it's to keep it fresh, keep it alive, keep it going. You know, because if it was the same stuff, you would lose that involvement with it. It would just then like an automatic task. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, Chris, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me again. Absolutely great. I know if anybody's interested, go on to, is it Chris Shearer Medium? Your Facebook?
Yeah, that's my Facebook page.
Yeah, have a look on there because Chris is doing the online courses now. So, I mean, this is a totally new world for us. Yeah. You know, saying, oh, I can't find a circle. We'll go online now and there's about 200.
And I have an Eagle Wings group with my wife, and the Eagle Wings development group now on Facebook as well. So you will find it on my page. I think the link to it. So if anyone wants to join Eagle Wings, I set that up, to be honest, Lawrence, about 4 years ago. And I felt it's strange because before I came into this, I used to have an obsession with an eagle. I had an sobbing ring and it had an eagle in it as well. So in some aspects, I feel it was strange, but a totem animal for me. So that's why I named it the Eagle Wings, the group. But yeah, everyone's welcome to join that on my page. I'll direct you if anyone wants to join the development group, by all means. But yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you, mate. My totem animal's a cheeseburger. Chris Shearer, thank you so much.
Yes.
Absolute pleasure. Really, really lovely. And we will have you all down again soon. We've got to do this psychic plowman's. It will happen one day. Sir, thank you. Great pleasure. Have a lovely evening. Go back indoors before you call.
Yeah. Bye now. Thanks very much.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Absolutely lovely night. Chris is such a smashing fellow. He really is. He's so easy to talk to. Don't forget, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, we have yet another Manchester medium with us, the lovely Kate Green, taking our Sunday morning divine service. Monday night, we have a meditation at 7 o'clock. Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we have a service. We've got Bill Hughes from Wimbledon will be taking that service. Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we have a meditation. Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, we have another meditation. So lots there to keep your interest going. Stay safe, stay secure, stay in. All right, love you all. And we will all have a lovely big hug one day. All right, take care. Good night. Sleep well.